Howdy folks, Nathan here for TFL, and I've got a treat for you, and that's because this is the Hyundai Santa Fe, but it's not any regular Santa Fe. This is actually the XRT concept. And basically what you're looking at here is a more off-roady version of the Santa Fe, which is already a little bit more off-roady-ish than the one it replaces. And in this video, I'm gonna take you on a little tour around the vehicle, show you all the goodies, all the knickknacks, and all the potential of this vehicle. Remember, it's a concept, but hopefully they'll build something just like it. All right, let's go straight to it, because you may have noticed it's a little bit higher off the ground. And yes, they did give it a little bit of a lift. Now, one of the things that Hyundai's not doing is they're not giving us any specifics on the vehicle. They're not telling us about any extra components or just showing us stuff. But you can clearly see in this video that this has a couple components on it that, well, frankly, don't come on the regular Santa Fe. And that goes right to these BF Goodwrench all-terrain TAs. They are really beefy for a vehicle like this. And in order to put them on there, they definitely had to bring it up a little bit. So yes, it has a little bit of a lift. And I would say, just from my eye, it's nearly 2 inches higher than the regular Santa Fe. You'll also notice GoPro mounts. Now these are magnetic right now. I think that's just for show. Later on, I think that if they did something like this, they would probably be solid mounted. But here's an interesting thing. There are other Hyundai vehicles out there that actually have GoPro mounts. Even the Santa Cruz has little spots where you can pop them in there. Pretty interesting stuff if you're serious about showing people how hardcore you can go off-road. But there's more. What about this? What's this here? Well, let's say you have a rooftop tent and you want to secure it. This is what you would use. That's why they have it on here. Although, interestingly, it doesn't look like there's a rooftop tent on here, but they do have this really beefy roof rack with the spare tire on top. Now, I suppose that if something like this were to go into production, it probably wouldn't have the tire mounted up there. But regardless, it does look cool. And if it looks off-roady, then, well, that's the most important thing, right? Now, there are a lot of little storage containers and storage bins around here. I'm not gonna mess with any of them because this is a display model, and it's entirely possible they're not meant for my big ape hands to go messing around with. However, this is a storage case. Normally, right over here, there would be a panel that you could push in order to actually climb up to the roof. So you would actually have that as a handhold. But they mounted this there, and I think that might be a little hint for the future that you might be able to do stuff like that. But there's more. You have another spot here, which looks like a hard point, where they're able to mount a miniature jerry can. You'll probably mount something else there as well. Once again, this is a display model, so this is not something that's currently coming on the upcoming Santa Fe, but there's more. Back here, you got a nifty little stepladder. Now, this is something that would make me kind of freak out a little bit, because honestly speaking, having to look out through this, I don't think I'd be thrilled about. I'd rather have this on the side or something to that effect. But regardless, some people might actually dig this. And then it goes up here, and there's other handholds up here. So if I were to climb up here and grab on, I would have a place to do so. The thing is that because of my ridiculous weight, I don't want to do that on a display model. Let's come on over here. There's another jerry can and something else going on. Now, what do you suppose this is? Well, you may have seen several different types of storage systems, including when we did the Toyota Tacoma. And they have similar types of ports where you can plug things in. Now, I'm not going to pull on it, but you could probably pop this out and put it in wherever you want this GoPro and this little tray, or perhaps another box. And this is actually that spot I was telling you about, where normally there would be a little flap where the handhold would be. So another potential for the future. Now, moving forward, if you actually move back a little bit so we can look at the outside of the vehicle, I wanted to point out something. Now, we already know that the angles on the new Santa Fe are very different than the old ones. In fact, wheelbase, overall length, everything has changed. And because it has a lift, the approach and departure angles are far better. Not only that, but that is over 12 inches of ground clearance. I know that because I wear size 13 boots, and I put my foot under there, and it had easily more space. Moving to the front, now here's an interesting thing about this setup. The color is actually very similar to what I think they're going to be releasing in the future. So that matte finish is actually something that you might be able to buy in the stores. Now, the final version of the 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe is not available yet. However, in the future, we will be driving it. As a matter of fact, in November, around the LA Auto Show, we should be getting a lot more information, and perhaps we'll be getting more information on the XRT concept. Now, I wanted to finish with one important point, and that is the name XRT is not unknown to Hyundai. They actually have other vehicles with this badging, and it is their more off-roady version. So it's entirely possible that something like this could be produced in the near future. For TFL, I'm Nathan. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you guys later.